I met with Karl and Anne-Marie today, and we went around the house inside and out, took a lot of pictures, and we discussed pros and cons of what kinds of repairs would bring the greatest return on investment. And you guys, I'm going to put together a video right now and show it to you, and then when Bill and I meet on Tuesday, we can decide how much you want to do, what's feasible for your family, and so forth. I just know that the repairs that I'm going to recommend are going to make about a $25,000 difference in the value of the home in the eyes of the buyer. So keep that in mind when you think about Karl's purpose in selling. It's not just to sell quick, it's to be able to use the money to live for the rest of his life and find an adequate place, to find an adequate replacement place, right? So let's get after it, okay? The inside of Karl's home is really in pretty good shape. It's a little dated, but as far as glaring problems, I didn't see too much. When Bill comes, we'll look through it together with a fine-tooth comb a little bit more. But it's the outside of the house that is the primary concern, where we're going to get the biggest bang for our buck doing repairs and painting and so forth. So let's take a look. Okay, we're in the backyard. We're walking up towards the back northwest corner of the house, and we're going to look at the paint. These boards, 1x4s that are on the corners, those are in bad shape, and around the windows, similar boards. Probably the best, easiest way is to just replace those corner ones. Here under the window, it's mostly just straight under the window where the paint is bad. The boards on this window are just fine. They just need paint scraped there, and that would fix that. But you see the damage along the bottom edge of the siding. The north, this is on the north of the house. The north and the west are the worst, and I'll show you some suggestions, something that one of the neighboring houses did to make that look better. So cleaning out the window wells, that's obvious. But here underneath these windows on the north side, you can see the paint that needs fixed. This is a bad damage spot. That's probably the worst one. It's in the soffit. You see the rain gutter, and there's a hole there that a woodpecker drilled. So that spot needs fixed, and we can do that. So now we're going to go around to the patio door. So this is ground level. You see where the siding is touching the ground, the moisture wicks up and it rots. So that doesn't look too good for an inspector or a consumer. And the windows, deferred maintenance, obviously. So it's mostly at the bottom of the window where the water runs off the glass. Now this one up here, I think the wood frame around the window needs replaced all the way. It's just in pretty bad shape. And these 1x4s, every corner is kind of like that, and might be worth just replacing them. This corner right here, this is one of the worst rot places, and it makes you wonder, do you have termites in there? Because there's dirt down there. And so that spot, home inspectors are going to choke on that and that kind of thing. These little things like this will cost you $20,000, $30,000 in the value of the home really quick. Even if it's $1,000 fix, it's the perception. It doesn't look good. Okay, so some paint job. Now we're out in the front, and here you can see that the house looks pretty good, and nice new garage door. The only thing on this front is right here, you know, where this board comes down, right along the top of that board is going to be where the peeling paint and caulking is needed, and just make that look nice and secure it so the water doesn't get in behind that board. But somebody repainted this gable right above the garage, I think a volunteer group or something, and it's a completely different color than the rest of the house. Well, pretty much a different color. So anyway, now there is, you can see up there in that valley, some damage, water. So repairing places like that with new paint and so forth, that'll make a ton of difference. The inspectors will just hammer you on this unless you're selling to a cash investor, and that means steep discounts off of what Karl could get just by fixing a few of these things. Okay, so that's up on the roof, and the front area actually looks pretty good. We have some flowers growing there. So now this is the west side, and you can see this house does not have overhanging eaves on the gable ends, and so on the west side where the storms hit, it's going to run water down there and do damage. So over the years you can see that the siding is kind of rotted all along the bottom 10 inches or so. And I'm going to show you the neighbor's house, what we could do to maybe fix that. So we've gone all the way around the house, and now we're back to where we started. And you can see the kind of work that needs to be done there, okay? The backyard is a nice big backyard, and you see that little shed back there. Nice little shed. So this is a neighbor's house, and you see how they have that board along the bottom, and they've painted and caulked, and that coat of paint and the caulking of those joints, it makes all the difference in the perception of value. And this is right next door to Karl. You see how much nicer a coat of paint makes that. It just protects the siding from damage, water damage. So right there, that's Karl's, and you can see the damage along the bottom there. Okay, so fixing that with a board across the bottom and a fresh coat of paint, which I have a commercial paint sprayer, it would take, I can spray 5 gallons of paint in 30 minutes. If you mask out the stuff, we can make this house look a whole lot better for not a lot of money, you know. 15 gallons of paint and just spray it on there would make that look way better. Okay. Karl also was concerned about the tree there. If you wanted to prune that a little bit, it wouldn't be too hard to get a ladder up there and prune some of that. But that's not my major concern. My major concern is I would put red bark right here, by the way. Just a couple bags of red bark and maybe a couple potted flowers there when we get ready to show the house. That's what I would do. The cracks in the driveway are not a big deal. Everybody's driveway has that. Okay, this is the neighbor's house. They probably had the exact same problem, but you see how they put that horizontal board along there, and they sprayed a new coat of paint, and they didn't even do the highlight paint. They just painted everything one color, but at least it's protected and it doesn't have a glaring problem because they've trimmed the bottom and put that horizontal and painted it. Bill, I have ladders, so you don't need to worry about bringing ladders, and I have a lot of other tools, so you bring your stuff and I should have anything else you would need. You just let me know how much of this work you want to do.